Welcome everybody back to the Pre-Show Parker Show. Glad to be back. Glad to be in your eardrums. Happy to be here today, guys. I really hope you had a wonderful week and I hope everything went genuinely well for you. Blessings to you, your family, your loved ones, with all these things happening and the election going on, and we got the new president happening. This is big things. And social media plays a big part of the whole election, plays a big part of our day-to-day lives. That's why today we're talking about the topic, does social media have an effect on your relationship, your life, the way you interact with your loved ones? I'm going to start off with saying that social media destroy your relationship. And from my experience personally, it absolutely does. It can destroy your relationship. And let me tell you how. First thing is first, distractions. You ever notice that you have been around somebody or you have experienced yourself with people that be on their phone and they constantly cannot get off of their cell phone, their laptop, their tablet, whatever it takes so they can get their immediate view. And you watch them and they can be on there for 5 minutes, an hour, 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes they don't even notice that you're even next to them. They don't even know you're talking to them. Or sometimes they block you out with their tunnel vision when they're so focused on their phone that they don't even check out their surroundings. There are people that have died just being on their cell phones, just focus so much on what's going on in the world that they don't even know what's going on in their surroundings. But when I talk about relationships, it's talk about the things that you see through social media. Whether it's looking at other females or males if during your relationship, whether it's looking at topics that have nothing to do with your life or getting caught up in other people's affairs like celebrity affairs or the drama in the streets. All of these things can be distractions during your time with your significant other. Because when I'm with my significant other, I can get caught up so much when I'm looking at stuff on my social media platform and I'm even laughing at it, or I'm in the middle of the night, supposed to be going to bed. I'm on my cell phone watching stuff that I shouldn't be watching, or just watching things that entertain me. And if I get caught up in that, that can cause tension within the home. And then you like your spouse, like my wife, would come in and say, "What are you doing? Who are you talking to? What is going on in your phone?" And that stuff right there, oh, that could break a lot. That could cause a lot of drama, and I mean a lot of drama. I have had so much drama and stress due to the fact of me being caught up on my cell phone, focused so much on what's going on there. That I almost don't even care what's happening in my house. Social media can destroy your relationship, and we'll get back more into that. It most definitely is time consuming. How much time do you spend a day on your phone? How much more can you be doing in your life if it wasn't for the social media, if it wasn't for the things that you're listening to or viewing? What else could you be doing in that spare time? With that being said, do you spend less time with your family, your friends, your spouse, your workplace, your dreams? Does social media cause you to be to part ways with that kind of lifestyle? That you have so much other important stuff to do on your phone that you don't even care what else is happening right now? At the same time, have you ever been around people who are in relationships who don't even talk to each other, that they're both caught up on their cell phones? I know I've seen it. Where I've sat down at a restaurant, I watched a wife and a husband, they both sit across from each other, and instead of them having dialogue or conversation, what are they doing? They're on their cell phones, looking at what they got going on. They might even take their phone out and look at you and show you something that they got going on their phone. At the same time, they're showing what's going on your phone. What happened to communication between yourselves? These are good things to talk about, because how did you allow your cell phone to get more attention than the person that you're actually sitting down with, or that you actually have slaved in the bed with last night, or you work with? How did your phone become more important than them? The worst thing you can do with cell phones, the worst thing you can do with social media, is when you compare somebody else's life to yours, or you compare what's going on social media to what your reality. You see your favorite celebrity doing something like, I want to live their life, and you realize that your life is nowhere near their life. So you try to create your reality based on them, based on the friends, based on the people you see. That is a scary thing to do. And here's why it's so scary to do. Suppose you watch your favorite celebrity, they just bought themselves a nice car. They can afford that car. They got that nice dream house. They can afford that home. So you get into the point where I have to do whatever it takes to live the way they live. Because if I live the way they live, then I might have a higher chance of getting that. I understand. Follow your mentor, look up to somebody and follow their steps so you can get to that certain point in your life. But if you haven't picked those particular, avenues, careers to focus on, how can you get there? How can you drive yourself to be in somebody else's shoes if you have yet to set an example in your own shoes? Lead by example, but you have to take baby steps first, people. You can't go out there and buy yourself a Lamborghini based on the salary you make, based on the things and steps that you have taken. You have to step out of a field that you wasn't expected to take. You have to pick careers that you need to pick. You need to choose those goals to be able to achieve those dreams. But if you try to live above your means, like most people do, they either gamble, or they sell something valuable, or they even sell themselves, trying to become viable with the material around them instead of being concerned about their own individual selves. I truly mean, people, do not try to live in a reality that you haven't stepped up to. Do not try to live up to somebody else's standards if you haven't built yourself to that, especially if it's not something that you're really into. You're only into it based on the fact that somebody has something that you like or want, and you're doing whatever it takes to have it. It's basically coveting. Now, social media also can cause anger. It can cause you to be outraged, disappointed. And why is that? You can watch something on social media of something violent, for example. A guy in the streets getting jumped, getting his butt whooped for no reason. He's getting beat up by a bunch of people. Okay, you watch that video. What do you do next? You scroll down, you see another violent act. You scroll down, you see somebody get shot or ran over by a car. You scroll down, you see a news topic about somebody that just got kidnapped. Anger starts to build up in you. Disappointment, hatred, for some people, bigotry. You allow what you see to become so much, you're so in tune to it that you believe that everything you see is happening everywhere you're at. Every surrounding, every state, every country, you believe that it's all over the place. So that buildup of anger and outrage towards someone or something can happen because you put yourself in somebody else's shoes or in somebody else's surrounding, which has nothing to do with what's going on in your community right now, what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on in your lifestyle. You try to put yourself in their lifestyle now, you don't know what to do. You're so built up with disappointment, anger. The outrage is easy to be outraged because it's based on politics. Let's look at the whole thing that's going on with Biden and Trump. And when you look at that situation, you are deciding right now whether you're going to choose blue or red, whether you're going to choose Democrats or Republic. You're going to choose these things based on what you see from social media instead of your own belief. Oh, well, that team is telling me what they think about this president, what this president does, what that background did. And you looked at all of those things that somebody else said. Instead of doing your own research, instead of digging it up, instead of looking up your own ideas, instead of using your own intellectual understanding of what you should have chose, you chose somebody else's point of view. And if you choose everybody else's point of views, you can cause hatred and outrage and anger towards another candidate or towards another person based on the views that somebody else had. Before I decide to go out there and vote or choose, I do everything I can to understand that person from my own personal research. I do a little digging in the background. I go through the internet. I dig through definitions of what words mean or backgrounds of what that person did or politics that they had in different states. What did they do? And then when you look at all those things and those ideas and their ideologies of what they think about, you start to realize, hey, wait a minute, this might not be the candidate of my choosing based on the standards that they don't have the standards that I agree upon. Now I make my decision. I can't decide to choose for Biden or Trump based on the fact that something that happened in the past or something that somebody else said, a famous celebrity said, hey, you should vote for Trump because this guy is great. You should vote for Biden because, he cares about this. But do you care about those same opinions? Be very smart and choose wisely what you choose. A lot of times when we go through social media, what is the one major thing we do? We lose our moral values, our moral grounds, and standards. Because now, I don't know if you heard the thing, a lot of times we said, they said it from the Bible, they said it from scholars, they said a lot of, even in our time today, that bad is going to be considered good and good is going to be considered bad. And these are true things because if you look at what's going on right now, there's not a lot of display, a lot of media coverage on good things that are happening. Oh, a whole bunch of bad things. I can watch anything and find something negative. And when it comes down to good, you don't get too much on those things. So sometimes you can lose that moral focus on what is good. And your standard for good starts to divide you based on what you see. Because right now, popping bottles of champagne and messing with females and disrespecting people, that is starting to become the thing. That's starting to become the trend. It's starting to become the trend to be violent, to have a weapon, to hurt people, to defend yourself at all costs is not a problem. But to go out there and purposely find a reason to be negative, to hurt somebody, to beat somebody down, to belittle somebody, come on, man. Stop allowing what you see and what you hear to be the point of view that you take in. And it absorbs into you, into your system, into your spirit, that it releases all this negative energy, this negative toxin, this poison that you're bringing out in your everywhere you go, because what you say out your mouth is powerful. And if you allow everything that you see to develop into your brain and it stays in, and if you speak that out into existence, you are creating that world around you. Please be careful what you watch on media. Please be careful. Last but not least, and I can't say last but not least, but sometimes you allow social media to help you out with your personal problems. Let's say you're going for a relationship problem. Your spouse is cheating. You may go and look up somebody else's that have a problem that's similar to you and see how they handled it. And then you act upon that. What goes for someone else doesn't necessarily help you in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Jack and Jill over here had a relationship and they were in a big fight, but he knew all he had to do was buy her a nice dessert and a rose, and she's happy, that may work for her and her personality or how she was brought. But let's think about what happens in your relationship. If you went to your lover with a cake and a flower, she may not want that nasty cake. She may not want that flower. Maybe all she wanted you to do was apologize and maybe cuddle with her or take her out on a nice stroll. You didn't know that. You just followed what somebody else did. So now you're trying to figure out why she's still disappointed and you're angry. So now the anger builds up to you and you feel like she has more hatred and she just being, distraught and just pissed off and just doesn't care about what you care about. It's because you're not doing what is best for you that can work for her. You're doing what you heard somebody else do. And you think that's what's going to benefit her. You need to understand your mate. You need to understand the person you're with. And this is vice versa, females for males as well. You need to understand the person that you're with. You've been with that person for a long time, and yet you haven't found out what it takes to trigger them and what it takes to make them happy. Think of those things out first, people, before you look at somebody else's ideas. Because other people's idea does work, but not necessarily always. And everything that somebody else's does doesn't necessarily work for you, your spouse, your relationship, and how things are supposed to work. Oh, this is a big deal, people. Bullying is so huge with social media. You may say, bullying? How could bullying be? Preacher Parker, how could bullying be so big of a deal? Man, come on, people. Let's get real. You watch your favorite celebrity do something, you start talking trash. You may comment on there. You don't like their outfit, you start saying what you want to say about them, about their outfit, how you feel about them, your hatred towards them. You don't even know that person, man. You never met that person in your life. You never met that person, but you hate that person. You can't stand that person. You have so much hatred towards that person that you have the nerve to get on the typewriter and start writing all kind of negative stuff about that person and then hoping that it trends where everybody else follows that. But what you realize, like I said before earlier, is how powerful your words is. Even from your fingers typing it out, it came from your mind. That person that's watching that or looking at that or reading that may have read that. And it could have triggered something in them that could have caused them to commit suicide or caused them to belittle themselves or hide in the shadows or even change their whole physical image because of what you said. And you may laugh at this and think it's funny, but honestly, man, how would you feel if you was in their position and somebody constantly every day talked about you negatively? Said that you look stupid, your face is funny, you're not educated. They don't like the way you dress, where you live, how you speak. How long can you hear that before it affects you? Stop being the bully, and also at the same time, stop allowing somebody else to bully you. If somebody says something, they can turn that junk off, delete that junk, block that junk, because you're allowing that to absorb in you, and you believe that. And once you believe that's who you are, you become that. And it does hurt. The suicide rate is so high because of bullying, and most bullying is coming right now from social media. How many teenagers are dying because of bullying? And you may say, oh, that's not me. Oh, trust me. We all, in some sense, have said something negative about somebody. Now, whether we wrote it down or said it, we've done it. We got to find a way to stop doing it, y'all, and stop allowing bullying to take over our lives, because we are allowing it to happen, and we're not leading by the example we should be leading by. What happened to standards, people? What happened to those things? The way we speak also comes from social media. How? From all the words that they say, let's go way back to when Snoop Dogg was talking about fascism, my nizzle, and all this. That was great. That's funny. I said it. But we didn't realize how powerful it was that once what he said spread it out, other people started saying it. Look at all of the memes we have now. Look at all the words we have right now. Look at all the anagrams. Look at all how we analyze words now. Look at the LOLs and the LMAOs. Look at all the emojis. All of these things happen through social media, through text, through word of mouth. It spreads like wildfire. So now it becomes the new language. It becomes the new norm. It got to the point where some people have even said that we have a lazy tongue because we're not willing to speak fluently and using all of the sentences and the words and the verbs and the abbreviations wisely. We're not speaking expressively using a whole full sentence, because now I can say everything to you in a couple of little letters and boom, you know exactly what I mean. Now I didn't have to speak to you properly. Now we had a full dialogue. I might have lost how I communicated with you based on all the things that I educated myself with now that we consider standard. Educate yourself and speak well and learn to speak with other people. There's nothing wrong with doing the things you continue to do right now, but don't allow it to be a full platform of everything you say out your mouth and how you communicate today, because if we lose how we speak, we can lose ourselves. And because words are so powerful, that if we don't use the right words, we can really, really cause negative effects on our life, our health, and our mental. Remember that, people. That's real stuff. We gotta stop listening to other people and believe in lies. Social media is so big on lies. I may not be a giant fan of Donald Trump, but let's be real. When he says fake news and all these lies, a lot of it's not lying about, people. There's so many lies being spread throughout the media, what we watch on TV, that we watch on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat, all the TikTok, everything. I can sit here and honestly tell you right now, since I live in Florida, oh man, there's wildfires in Florida. And I can show you a picture of fires everywhere. And until you knew somebody that was living in Florida, or until you Googled and searched all these different ways to find out it was true, you would believe it. Especially if I have a whole lot of followers, you believe everything I say. You didn't do the research, you just believe, people. You believe everything somebody tells you from media because they said it. Man, we being brainwashed. We are being brainwashed every single day and don't even realize it, man. We definitely need to find another way to have truth news. Somebody out there, please, invent truth news. I'm not good at that kind of stuff, but I know there's somebody out there right now that's good at it. Get yourself a team together and find nothing but truthful news and spread that around the world. Because we need more truth than negative right now. Because, man, the negativity and the ignorance and the hatred and the ugliness is so big right now. It's scary, man. It is truly scary. So please, if you could do that, man, for us, I'll watch the channel. I'll subscribe myself. True news. Talk about nothing but genuine stuff about loving, happiness, caring, growth, businesses, appreciation for life, people who are doing aspirations and really changing everything around them. That's what we need to hear more of. Because right now, this negativity stuff is irking me right now. I'm tired of hearing about people dying, being kidnapped, sex trafficked, lies happening, money laundering. I'm tired of hearing that stuff, man. That's all you hear. Don't you get tired? Don't you get upset about these things? Aren't we fed up yet? Truly, man, truly. Learn to value yourself. Learn to value yourself. Because one thing I've seen from social media is if I see a person build up and, they work out, for a guy point of view, A guy works out, he gets pumped out every day, and you see him grow from a skinny guy to a muscular guy, I get motivated. But what if I see a guy that grew up that way, already built, already strong, already dressed sharp, always walking around with all the ladies out there, all the guys out there got his back. He's everything he's good at. And I'm like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy, Tyrone, whatever his name could be, Tyrone. Yo, I want to be Tyrone, man. That guy has it all. He has it made. I don't want to be Tyrone. I want to be me. But if long as I'm looking at Tyrone, look how great Tyrone is, I'm going to follow Tyrone. I'm going to follow the Johns. I'm going to follow the James. I'm going to follow all these people. And I've yet to follow myself, so I devalue myself. And my value is based on what they look like. So now I try to follow their steps so I can be them. There's nothing wrong with looking at a role model that has standards and that's doing great. But at the same time, individually be yourself. Learn to be you. Because, man, you didn't come to this earth for nothing. You know this already. But a lot of you can't absorb to understand that. You can't grasp that. You are bigger than you know you are. You are bigger than yourself. You are much more huge. And I'm not talking to get you ego-headed when you go out there and get all cocky, but I'm telling you, letting you know that you have a purpose in this life, man. Individual purpose, an individual goal, an originality that nobody else can take from you. Be that, find that, explore that, and then share it. Now, with all this social media crisis I was talking about, let's get into how we can solve the problem. How can we solve these issues in social media? First thing we have to do is identify the problem. You know what the first problem is? That's what they always tell you when you go to get yourself, a psychological test and people talk to you. You go over there and you get that little long chair, you lay back, and you talk to that counselor and he tells you, first thing is doing to admitting the problem is you. And I'm admitting right now, as Preacher Parker, I admit that I was the problem. I am the problem in my own household. I allowed social media to take over my life. I spent a lot of hours on my cell phone. I spent a lot of hours just listening to everybody else and believing that crap. I spent a lot of hours sitting up there looking at the internet, looking at different females, and looking at other people in their relationship, and looking at all these different shapes and bodies and outfits, and looking at all these negative things. And so was positive, but I looked at so much of it that I didn't even care what was going on at home. I forgot all about what's going on at home. I forgot about my relationship. I forgot about spending more time with my significant other. I forgot about going out there in nature and having a great time with that, and going to the beach and going to a nice hotel and relaxing myself. I forgot about going to work and really got to talk to other people and communicate with them. I spent so much time telling them about what I seen on a video. I lost myself. Even though I'm on social media right now, I want to spread those 30 minutes to an hour a day, just spreading positive stuff and talking to you about something positive. I want you personally, people at home, whoever's watching this or sharing this, please share. Try to first admit that you are the problem. Once you realize you are the problem, find a way to reduce that time by half first. Don't go extreme. Don't try to reduce all 8 hours you spend on social media. That's not going to work. Take 2 or 3 hours away. Take 4 hours away from social media. Get back into reading a book, exercising, working out, taking long walks. Call that friend, that loved one that can't wait to talk to you. Go visit somebody. Go out there and help somebody out there in the streets. Help somebody else that's in a time of need. Go talk to other people about the things that you learn, and then learn to flip that and express it on them so they can start trying to change their life as well. Don't allow social media to take over your life. Man, it's taking over everything we do. Everything. Find that problem. Second thing we need to do is learn to communicate. Communication is key. Communicate with your loved ones. Communicate with the people you care about. Rearrange your time so you can spend more time with others. If you like to spend more time with yourself, that's fine. And spend more time meditating. Practice yoga. Practice affirmation. Practice mentally rearranging your brain to think different. Practice spiritually aligning yourself with the universe, with God, whatever you believe in. Find a way to absorb that. Go towards that. We have to find a way to do that because, man, we're losing ourselves. Time with family is so important, especially at times right now due to COVID, which in one way I'm kind of happy COVID came. Not the deaths. But COVID allowed so many people to spend time with their families that they started to realize what they was missing at home. But on a side note, for those that was out there beating that got more domestically violent because they had to spend more time with their significant others, you need help. I hope you go to jail. I hope you get arrested. I hope you get your ass beat. I know it's a negative thing to say, but really, man, why the hell are you gonna spend all your time hurting someone that's in your household? How you gonna beat your wife and your children constantly? How you gonna starve your family? How the hell can you live with yourself? Because you went through something in your past so negative that you have to bring it on somebody else, or you're so personally hurt yourself personally that you gotta hurt somebody else because you can't deal with your own pain and your own drama. Find a way to get counseling, man. That's real talk. But back to what I was saying. Spend more time with your loved ones, everybody. Please spend time with your kids. They need it more than anything, especially at times right now, because with so much stuff that they can see through social media, especially with all the sex, the drama, the violence, with all that going on, you got to take them away from that, man, because you don't want your kids and your loved ones to keep seeing that stuff, because once that builds up in them, they bring that junk at home. The worst thing you could do is have your little child come to you and start talking about all this ration stuff and talking all this negative stuff and they want to hurt people or cursing or smoking or doing drugs because that's all they see. And as an adult, spread the example, man. Stop allowing your kids to see the negative stuff that you do because when they see that, they follow that, man. Your friends follow that. Your loved ones follow that. Be the example. Be that leader you was claiming to be. Because you claiming to be that great leader, you damn sure ain't going to be doing that stupid stuff. Influence change for the better. We can have a better earth. We can have a better world. Thy kingdom of God could be on this earth, but we can't have that if all we do is bring this devilish to the world. Please try to separate fake from reality. Everything around as you see that you think is true is not true. And when you realize that, when you snap into that, then you say, hey, they say this is not reality. Reality is what I'm searching for. Let me tell you an example. It's like going seeing the pictures of Africa. What do they show you in Africa all the time? They show you poor neighborhoods. They show you dirt roads. They show you people with no shoes and no clothes. Do they show you all the beauty of Africa? Do they show you all the successful and the rich and the happy and the beautiful nation? Do they show you all that? Not all the time. Sometimes you got to dig for that. Really dig. Why is that? Brainwashing. That's just not Africa. There's other countries that do the same thing. If I showed you nothing but bad in your community, you will only see that. Instead of spending so much time spending our money on stupid stuff, let's spend more time on helping people. People are starving right now. And we're worried about our favorite celebrity. People in Flint, Michigan still ain't got no clean water. And we're worried about our favorite rapper, our favorite pop singer, our favorite country singer. But are they out there changing the community that you're looking at? They're just popping bottles and spending all that money, but are they effectively changing people's lives right now in front of you? Are they in your community right now with all these poor people around there? Are they helping anybody? Let's be better than this. Let's be better than this. We are better than what we think we are. We are huger than what we think we are. We are more of an influence than we think we are. Let's stop depending on others when we can depend on ourselves to make the change. Because change comes within. Please learn to use our own brain. Google's not always the answer, even though it says it is. There are more other ways to find out that there's more truth out there. Anybody can type on Google or type on any other kind of media platform to tell you this is the truth. And if you don't dig hard enough, you're going to believe that's the truth. And if you believe everything you read on Google, anything else is the truth, I ain't being mean, but you got a lot of work to do. Because it's not facts. They can tell you Christopher Columbus discovered America. Is that a fact? No, that's what you read. That's what you was taught. That's what you was educated on. But that's not facts. Find out more facts. Do more research. Don't allow social media to destroy your life, your relationship, your loved one, the people you care about. Don't allow it. Don't allow you to hurt yourself through social media. If you're young and you're a child and you're watching this, please don't hurt yourself. We love you, man. Love is out there. And if you believe in yourself that there's somebody out there for you, look for them. Go out there. Search. Channel your way into a new life. Find that person. Get out of your area. Get out of your environment. Go to another city or another state. There's so much more out there. You'll never know if you stay put in the same community, the same area that you were brought up in. And if you're going to share anything, people, please share the most enjoyable, most happiest, most loving time of your life. And then tell others they can have it too. We are more than capable of doing these things. As a Preacher Parker Show, all I want to do is make an impact, change the lives of other people, make you happier than you ever been in your life, see happiness and joy. I want to uplift people for the better. And we can do this together. If you enjoyed this episode of the Preacher Parker Show on social media, please share, please comment, please like, and most definitely, please subscribe to the channel. There's so much more coming, so much more, I promise you. I just can't wait to give my audience a major feedback of love, happiness, and positivity. If you believe in the universe, you believe in God, say it as I'm going to say it just one way. Spread that. Be happy. And know that the universe and God loves you. They truly do. There's a light upon you. You're going to go through struggles. We all have to go through it. But each struggle, there's a better blessing. There's a destiny waiting for you. And I assure you, good things are happening. And good things are coming towards your life. And if you only believe that good is going to happen in your life, it will happen. But please don't tell yourself tomorrow, man, I know something bad is going to happen. Don't say that, man. Stop saying negative. Stop. Stop it. I'm going to say stop, S-T-O-P, if you can't spell it. Stop saying it. Stop spreading it. Stop believing it. And it will not come to life. Bad things happen, but that's just coincidence. That's just certain things that have to happen. But it doesn't have to bring in your life every day. You can change everything, I promise you. Your circumstances can change. But are you willing to change yourself for it? This has been the greatest episode of the Preacher Parker Show. I wish you nothing but happiness. I wish you nothing but joy. I wish you nothing but peace. We can do better. We are allowed to do great. And I want to see you do everything you can to make a bigger impact for your life. Nothing but love for you. This has been the Preacher Parker Show. And we are out.